Hello and welcome back for another standard gameplay video. Today we're going to be playing this mono white Soul Sisters deck. The deck is utilizing a bunch of life gain cards such as Authority of the Consuls, Case of the Uneaten Feast, Hinterland Sanctifier, Leonin Vanguard, and Linden the Steadfast Queen. And then in conjunction with all of these life gain cards, we have cards that scale based on life gain in the form of Ajani's Pridemate, Essence Channeler, and Leonardo Cutting Edge. As additional support, we have a full play set of Leyline of Hope, which lets us gain an additional life each time we gain life. And then if we have 27 or more life, our creatures will all get a +2/+2 buff. Ajani, Caller of the Pride. +1 can put a counter on one of our creatures. -3 can give a creature flying and double strike. Very good in the mid to late game if one of our scalers already has 10 power, or if we've already done some damage to our opponent, we could close out the game in the air. And then while unlikely, if it does get up to -8, the ultimate is going to create a number of 2/2 cat tokens based on our life total. Haliya, Guided by Light, is another life gain card, and this one also lets us draw a card if we've gained 3 or more life this turn, which is very manageable with this deck, providing us some card advantage. And then Sheltered by Ghosts as our removal spell, letting us exile a non-land permanent, and then also giving the creature lifelink and ward 2. For the mana base, we're running 2 copies of Abandoned Air Temple, which can also buff some of our smaller creatures as the game progresses. 4 copies of Cavern of Souls that we're usually going to put on either Cat or Cleric, depending on what we have in our hand. And then 2 copies of Fountain Port, which can create fish tokens, triggering our life gain and scaling our creatures. Additionally, the life loss will give the Essence Channeler flying, which is a great way to gain some evasion against most decks. For the most part, this deck doesn't really have many tricks in it. We're just trying to create a bigger threat than what our opponent can do. Notably, the life gain can help us race opponents as well if we're both playing an aggressive style deck. And with that said, let's jump into the games and see how the deck does. This hand looks fine. We'll keep. Notably, we don't have a second white mana for Ajani, Caller of the Pride, but we'll worry about that when we get to it. Up against the burn deck. There is our second Plains. I think we have to run Ajani out, start getting him scaling. Unfortunately, we just don't have a better play here. Leaves him susceptible to removal this turn. And we'll just take this. The student we can take out. So all in all, this is going to be probably a pretty good turn here. Play this out. We can either pick Cat or Cleric, and don't think it matters with the mana that we currently have. We'll play out Sheltered by Ghosts first. Opponent might concede here. It's going to be tremendously difficult for them to beat us at this point. And we'll even sneak in Leonardo. Opponent refuses to give up. We'll play out the Sanctifier. Opponent has some type of burn spell, but again, they're not going to be able to deal with the Pridemate, so don't know how they plan on winning this one. Then we'll get Caller down. And here, don't think it really matters which one we pick, so we'll go with the +1 counter. And we'll do it on the safer creature.
Let me show you how to fight.
That's one way to deal with it. Leonardo up to a 5/5. Are they going to attack in here? They kind of have to go after Ajani, I think. And they do. No blocks. You could turn their face down creature face up. Well, face down card face up, assuming it is a creature. Quite a long pause here.
Do not give up hope, friend.
They do turn it face up. I don't think they can put counters on it. And authority is good, but it's a little bit late. So we'll play out the Fountain Port first. Attack in with Leonardo. Can we do both here? Looks like we can. Create a fish. Hit for 6. Then we'll play out the authority. Is this at flash instant speed? Yep. So they can use the firebending student to flash that back. That means they do need to attack in though. And looks like they just have creatures in hand. So at least they will be able to block our creature here. And I think we're just going to attack in with everything. At 42 life, I don't think they can kill us with 2 cards, well, 3 cards after their draw step. So they can double block the Sanctifier or the fish token. They have to block Leonardo with at least 1. This is an acceptable trade. And we're going to take out the firebending student. Up to 52. Our opponent down to 4. They put up a good fight this game, but probably should have conceded many turns ago. $18 damage here. Brutally slow play. I think they're just being salty now. Could play this out first. Don't really need any more life gain. They've got forced jump blocks on all of our creatures, otherwise they're dead. So no need to pump the team here. Should have played out the Essence Channeler first. Bit of a mistake, but doesn't matter again. Pass the turn. See if they have another pump spell here. They do. Attack for lethal. On to the next. This hand is a bit slow, but it's not that bad. We will need to find a scaling threat, but once we do, it should take off pretty handedly. Says this human noble, unfortunately not a cat cleric, and it looks like it is a rematch from the last round. Unlike the previous game, we have a bit of a slow start here, so no life gain yet. What's the middle effect here? We have to gain 5 or more life in a turn. Here, I think we'll just hard cast. Draw into a fountain port. Slick shot can push damage in the air, and they start pumping it right away. It takes half of our life. What's the follow-up? Well, Cell Sword, so opponent managed to pull this one off. Payback for last round. This hand is fine. Authority in combination with Leyline should be able to keep us alive against the creature deck until we can find something to do. And it looks like the third match in a row against this red aggro deck. We'll start with the case here. And they're going to pump the Hired Claw, looks like it. And then a Sanctifier. I'm happy to see that. Here, we have a choice. We could either play out Sheltered by Ghosts on the Hired Claw. We could warp in Haliya. I think we'll warp in Haliya this turn. Draw into our planes. Our case is now solved as well. They fire off the Burst Lightning right away so that they can pump the Hired Claw. And then they take out our Sanctifier. Do they have another land? They do not, just another Claw. And we draw into another Haliya. Fantastic. So we'll warp this one in. Hard cast the other one. Keep the one that's permanent. Draw a card. Ember Heart is fine. And then Needlehead. We'll play out the Channeler, gain some life, and our opponent just concedes here. The Channeler in combination with the Needlehead means that we'd always have flying on it during our turn, and it'd be very easy for us to win against their deck from there. Game number 4. I'd love to see a different deck archetype here from our opponent. Another pretty good hand from us. And it's another mountain. So this deck looks slightly different. Might be artifacts. We'll have to wait and see. Blood Crypt. So at least it's not the same exact deck. Play out our Pridemate. Opponent attacks in. We have no problem taking this. They didn't have a play last turn. Slick shot, so maybe it is the same deck. Then here, neither one of these are fantastic. Get Ajani down as a distraction.
I am but one voice out of many. True strength comes from within.
So I'm assuming, similar to the second match that we lost, that they're going to be trying to pump the slick shot and then throw it at our face. And the black man is just in here so that they could play the card after using its fling effect. And similar to that match, we don't really have a ton of life gain going on. Down to 13. Another clockwork. This will gain us some life back. And then Linden is pretty good here. So let's see. Start on the Vanguard. Then for Linden, we got to name human. Here, let's see, if we give it double strike, we're only going to gain 2 life. That'll move it up to a 7/7. Won't quite be lethal. So based on that, I think we're just going to pump up the Vanguard here. Just be a better blocker against the percussionists. And then here, I think we just take it all. Blocking the percussionists only saves 2 damage, and I don't think that that's going to make a difference here. Whereas if they flip into a better pump spell, that would be worse for us. So this should be game. And there's the concession. This hand looks fine. Sanctum into a gene pollinator, so our opponent is going to be ramping. Don't want to see a badger mole cub here. Another gene pollinator. Looks like they might miss their land drop. Paw patch, so probably an Ouroboros deck, and they do have the land, it's just tapped. Play out a Pridemate. And then I don't think we offer the trade here. If they have the Ouroboros, it won't make a difference anyway. What does this do? Annoying. Luckily, the Pridemate gets counters on it, so losing its abilities, not the end of the world. Can't be blocked with creatures power 2 or greater. So you'd need to block it with 3 1/1s. That's a little bit of a busted design there. Love to draw into a land next turn. Get the Vanguard and the Sanctifier down. That way we can block that Beast Caller. Beast Binder, and then make another one. That one's got flying this time. And we miss on the land. In that case, I think we're going to warp in a Haliya. Play out another Sanctifier. Attack in. Do they jump with the Pollinator? They do not. We'll get to draw a card here, and we miss on the land again. Our opponent does not miss on their land drop. See what their last card in hand is. See, the only saving grace right now is that we're not under a ton of pressure. Alright, what do they target? The 2 Sanctifiers? Ajani and one of the Sanctifiers? They do go for Ajani. Don't know if I agree with that. And then why did this grow in power? Now it becomes a base 2/2. Sheltered by ghosts. This can take something out. I think we will play it. And we'll do it on the lifelinker. And I think we want to take out the flying one. Notably, opponent did hold up 2 mana with the Gene Pollinators. They could have played out a larger Wan Shi Tong. A lot of slow players this league. And then, don't think we have a great attack with Ajani here. So we'll pass the turn. 6 mana for our opponent. Another Paw Patch. This one with Offspring. And another Beastbinder. So being stuck on 2 mana has definitely hurt us this game. And I think it was a mistake there not to attack in with either of the Beastbinders. Although they're not really going to go punished because we missed on the land again. So let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 back on defense. Means we can get in with the Pridemate. They take a chump. We go up to 42. And we continue to miss on the land. "14 cards deep, only 2 lands. So at this point, turning off the Pridemate doesn't really do much for our opponent. If I were them, I would aim for either both Sanctifiers, maybe the Vanguard. I think next turn, we're going to get the Essence Channeler down. Opponent changes their mind about the Beastbinder, and then finally concedes. This hand is not bad. Authority is a good card to start off with here, and looks like we're up against another aggro deck. So we should be in a decent spot. We'll see which variation they're playing. They just pumped the claw here. We're fine with that. Here, we could either play out the Channeler or Leonardo. I think we'll start on Leonardo. He has lifelink of his own, so if our opponent doesn't remove him, then we'll be able to scale our threats next turn even more. Sheltered by ghosts. Let's see what this goes for. They're looking at both the Leyline of Hope and Leonardo. Not knowing our hand, they could be tempted to take the creature, but that would be a mistake. Say the ping here will also cause the Hired Claw to grow in size. And then what do we have in our hand here? I think there's a good mix of everything. And with 2 white lands already, don't think it really matters. I'll name Cat. Play out the Sanctifier first. And then we'll play out the Channeler next. Love to see them play out a creature here before combat. They do not. So we'll just take it. Our creatures will outscale theirs. Looks like they also have a removal spell. play out the case, and then Ajani. I think at this point, the only thing we're looking to dodge is maybe another Sheltered by Ghosts. And if they attack in, we're going to double block. This should get our Leonardo back, unless they have very specific pump spells here. Takes the pressure off the board, and then the next creature that our opponent plays out is also going to grow Leonardo. Here, we'll name human. Could have played out Sheltered by Ghosts on him, but I think we want to use it as a removal spell. What's this do? We don't really care about that, but it's good enough target as any. And that's enough for the concession. All right, so there you have the deck. And depending on how you look at it, either fortunately or unfortunately, all that we played against for the most part today were either mono red or Boros aggro decks, which we seem to do pretty good against, as to be expected from a life gain deck. When it comes to the deck, it was just okay, I think. Again, you'd probably want more interaction, but the more you put in, the more you're trimming from your primary game plan. I do think that Ajani, Color of the Pride, could probably be shaved and replaced with something else. But again, just based on the matches that we played today, it's hard to really dive into what types of changes and upgrades I would make, since we just didn't run into a variety of different play styles to really see what works and what isn't working. With that being said, I'd like to thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more content.